front of it, if it was actually reading the Torah or when you hear Torah, I want you to take a moment to think about Torah or you. And with that in mind, we will begin our service on page 389. Page 389. Now, summer's prospect, the world ripening and growing softer, the promise of harvest fulfilled, the warming sun lies before us. Now, the vision of Torah, the world at peace and growing gentler, the promise of goodness fulfilled, the loving heart lies open to the mind. We will now continue with our evening prayer service. We will continue with Chatzi Kaddish, which you will find on page 392. Page 392 for Chatzi Kaddish. And Sam will be leading us in the prayer.
Yitgadal, Yitgada, Shemei Rada. Oh, right, sorry. Bialma divrach yute, Viamlich malchute, V'chayechun uvyomechun, Uvchayedechul Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala, ba'agala, Uizman kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mavarach, Le'olam alol me'omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitbar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shmei Dekudasha, Brihu, Le'ilam Yinko Birchata V'shirata, Tushbechata V'nechemata, Da'amiran B'yoma, V'imru, Amen.
Thank you, Sam. We will remain standing and we will continue on page 394. Page 394. Our Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach, Hamevorach Leolam Haed, Hamevorach, Hamevorach Leolam Haed. You may be seated. We will continue on page 397 and then continue on the bottom of 396. So we'll start on the left-hand side of the page and we'll finish on the right-hand side of the page. In the middle. On the Shavuot, you may read with me if you like. How do we find God? We find God revealed in the order of in the physical universe, in the compassion of the human heart, and in the guiding wisdom of Torah. At the bottom of 396, praise to you, Adonai, who brings on evening, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravi. We'll continue on page 399. Sinai was only the beginning. The Torah never ceased to grow. In every age, it has been purified and enlarged. It has a permanent core and an expanding periphery. It expands as the horizon of our vision grows. Nor are God's revelations confined to Israel. God has been the inspiration of the great and good among all families of the earth. God's love and guidance reach out to all the world. We continue on the bottom of page 398. Let us read together. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Israel. We turn the page, and Naomi will lead us in the Shema and the Re'ah.
Please rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anohi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech Uvshokbaha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayuletotafot beineinecha, uktavtam amuzazot beitecha uvisharecha. Leman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lehiot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
I Elohim, and that thank you, Naomi. We will continue on page 406, page 406. We will read the reading at the bottom of the page responsively. I'll begin with the first paragraph, through the middle, and then we'll read together the end. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever together. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Israel. Continue in the middle of page 407. There's a reading here from the book of Ruth, which is the book of Ketuvim, the writings, also in the Hebrew Bible, although we don't read them every week. The book of Ruth has a special association with Shavuot, and this in the middle we have this reading from Ruth. This is the line of Perez. Perez begat Herzon. Herzon begat Ram. Ram begat Aminadab. Aminadab begot Nachshon. Nachshon begot Salma. Salma begot Boaz. Boaz begot Obed. Obed begot Jesse. And Jesse begot David. Why would this reading out of all of the readings of the book of Ruth be selected to be here? No, it's not a pop quiz. But it's an interesting question. And here's what I've been able to make out of this. So here we have a genealogy, right? A lineage. And it is a lineage that that ends with David, and that David is King David, pretty important figure in Jewish nationhood. And if you go up a line from the second line from the bottom, Boaz, we got Obed. Boaz married Ruth, and so while in typical biblical fashion, it didn't say Boaz and Ruth got Obed. It said Boaz, but he couldn't have done that on his own. And what's important, I think, is that Ruth is in the lineage of King David. There's something else that's important about Ruth, and that is that Ruth is often looked at. Now, there's some technicalities that make this sort of a question. It's not like, yes, this is absolutely the way it is. But many people look to Ruth as inspiration for those who choose to become Jews. Right? Ruth would not leave Naomi, and she said, "Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." And she went with Naomi and ended up back in the land. And Ruth, this person who joined us, who joined the Jewish people, is the great grandmother, of David, King David. That is that's a very important footnote in our history, and it tells of one, the importance of Ruth in Jewish history, but also the importance of the people who have joined us among the Jewish people and what they bring to us and what they can make. We will continue on page 408, and we'll read together at the bottom of the page. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. May the shelter of God's peace be over the Jewish people and over the land of Israel on this night. We will continue now on page 469. Page 469. Oh God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Well, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. May we be energized and inspired by the glory and joy of the Eternal One's presence as we continue with the Amidah, the moment when we, in the prayers from the words of our mouth and the prayers in our heart, encounter the Eternal One and offer blessing and perhaps receive blessing in return. Please rise as you are able. We'll continue on page 468. Adonai, Sefatai Tisak, Ufia Kitei Lakefa. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכוח הרב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. תומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר, מי כמוך על גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך תמיד ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ורמדת על החיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You may continue in private prayer and meditation, and you may be seated when you are finished. On this night in the land of Israel, while we are here in the evening, it is very early morning. People are facing another day of uncertainty, another day of danger, another day of wondering if the rockets will continue, where the rockets will land. And for this reason, I can't think of a better moment for us to join together in the prayer for the state of Israel, which you will find on page 377. Page 377. Let's read together at the bottom of the page. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish in the land and fullness for joy for all who dwell there. Together we say, Amen. We will continue on page 489. Page 489 with the prayer that Naomi will read for us.
You have called us to peace, for you are peace. Grant us the vision to realize these aims. Where there are ignorance and superstition, let there be enlightenment and knowledge. Where there are prejudice and hatred, let there be acceptance and love. Where there are fear and suspicion, let there be confidence and trust. Where there are tyranny and oppression, let there be freedom and justice. Where there are poverty and disease, let there be prosperity and health. Where there are strife and discord, let there be harmony and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Amen. Thank you. So tonight we witness the cycle of the complexity of life. We are here for two joyous occasions. One is Shavuot, the festival where we rejoice in receiving Torah. And we are also here for another more personally festive occasion, and that is the confirmation of Sam and Naomi. And I mentioned the cycle. While we are here living our Jewish lives in community, as Jews are all over the world right now, we are also acutely aware of our Jewish sisters and brothers and our Palestinian neighbors in the Holy Land engaged in conflict, all in danger, all waiting and yearning for peace. And we hold all of this. So in the midst of that worry and that concern, we also have room for joy and celebration. And for that, we're very fortunate to be able to embrace that together. So we will be hearing some words in just a couple of minutes from Naomi and from Sam. We're calling these, each of them will deliver what we're calling a Devar Yahavut, words of Jewishness. And to put them in context, Sam and Naomi and I have been on a journey this past year, meeting every other Sunday during religious school, and we basically talked about what does it mean to be human? What does it mean? How do human beings treat each other? What does it mean to be created by God? And we also talked about Jewish questions. What is God? Who is God? Who is God to both of you? And to cultivate the idea that actually, if we were to count the number of people in here, it's bad luck, I won't do it right now. I would dare say that whatever that number is will equal the number of perceptions of God. And we embrace that in our study together. We also spend time talking about how to apply what we learn as Jews to life in this world. It's been a beautiful and rich year for me to be able to learn with you and on many, many, many occasions to learn from you. And for that reason, I'm so excited that the entire community tonight will be able to learn from each of you. So we will continue. We will continue on page 41 with a reading that Sam will lead for us. And then when Sam is done with his reading, he will continue with his Devar.
I am a Jew because the faith of Israel demands no abdication of my mind. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel requires all the devotion of my heart. I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, the Jew weeps. I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, the Jew hopes. I am a Jew because the word of Israel is the oldest and the newest. I am a Jew because Israel's promise is the universal promise. I am a Jew because, for Israel, the world is not completed, we are completing it. I am a Jew because, for Israel, humanity is not created, we are creating it. I am a Jew because Israel places humanity and its unity above the nations and above Israel itself. I am a Jew because, above humanity, image of the divine unity, Israel places the unity which is divine. What does Judaism mean to me? Judaism, to me, is a welcoming community. It is more than just a religion and an identity. Being Jewish, I have a unique bond to other Jews wherever I live. It is a place where I can be safe and express myself through conversation, tradition, and practice. It is a way I'm able to connect with people, whether they're at temple or at home or elsewhere. It's also a way to meet new people, which allows me to be able to see the world through a Jewish perspective. There are some parts of Judaism, specifically holidays, that are especially important to me. An example of this is the Passover Seder. Being able to sit down and enjoy being in other people's company while recounting the story of Passover every year is a very special and enjoyable event. Another example would be Shabbat. During the year, my class studied many different topics and many different lessons. However, one lesson I remember the most and that impacted me the most was called the God shopping lesson. That lesson was one where we got to explore the idea of different ways of seeing God and different ways God sees us. We looked at all sorts of prospects, from God being a little voice in our head to God being a vast ocean on which we were just waves. The God shopping lesson helped me find an image of God that I felt most resonant, and not only that, but reminded me to expand my perspectives. This lesson helped with the idea that God is everywhere, in patterns and repetitions and truth, and I find that the easiest way to view God. This is in essence what Judaism means to me. More than just a part of who I am, it is a way I can connect with other Jewish people I may not know and be able to have conversations such as, but what really is God anyway? I think that is something about Judaism that you can't find in any other religion. Thank you.
Dr. Cohen, thank you so much. So let's take a second and just take that in. Okay. Now I would like to invite Naomi to offer her Devar.
To me, a part of Judaism I connect with is the history and the culture of the religion. As a Jew, you feel the responsibility and the honor to uphold the traditions of your ancestors. During the 8 nights of Hanukkah, we carry forth the customs of Jews long ago who experienced a miracle over their own 8 nights. And during Passover, we are called upon to remember our ancestors, those who were slaves in Egypt, by partaking in their own rituals, by eating only matzah, by tasting the bitter maror and the salty karpas to remember their suffering. By participating in traditions that Jews everywhere have upheld for many years, I feel as if I am part of something bigger than myself, as if I am connected to Jews from all around the world, from the past and from the future, through our shared experiences. To be a Jew is to feel a connection to the Orthodox man in the airport, to feel connected to the boy in the kippah. Although we may be different in all other ways, there is an unspoken connection between us. We have been raised on the same values of tikkun olam and of tzedakah. We have heard childhood stories of Noah's Ark, and we have rushed to find the afikomen during the Passover Seder. We have had to explain our religion to a curious and clueless world around us, and we are ambassadors for our own small population. To me, being Jewish is part of a series of traditions and being part of a community and a culture that shares the same core values as you do.
Dr. Cohen, thank you for teaching us so beautifully. Take a second just to put that in again. And now we come to the part. Okay, you guys can let out a little breath. The part stuff is over, and now you get to listen to some people say some nice things about you. And to do that, first I would like to invite Pam Friedman, Gavarit Pam Friedman, religious school principal, who has some words for you.
First of all, Mazel Tov, Sam, Mazel Tov, Naomi. I have to say, they must have read my speech because a lot of what you said this evening is what I'm going to say right now. So, I guess I should stand up. So I would like to posit before you that Jewish identity can be compared to a baseball diamond. No, this idea is not mine, but rather one that the Jewish author and educator Joel Lurie Gershaver presents in his book, 40 Things You Can Do to Save the Jewish People. He suggests that the home run takes place when each of us takes the time to touch each base, not simply strive for a single or a double or a triple, but to try and gain positive experiences from each base. So what are those bases? Sam and Naomi, to get to the first base, it will be important for you to connect your Judaism to things such as social, ethnic, political, secular, or on a cultural level, some way in which you feel like a member of the Jewish community. It's like when you, or in fact all of us, beam with pride when Ellie Reisman won the Olympic gold medal in gymnastics, or knowing that when we are about to recite the 4 questions during Passover Seder, that Jews all over the world are chanting those very same words. It's the matzo ball soup, the hamantashen, or potato latkes that we love. To get to the second base, you will need to feel a part of a Jewish community. This is where you, or each of us, have an opportunity to support one another and offer friendship. Communal Judaism is knowing that when you enter the walls of Achdut v'Shalom, people know your name and you have had some connection with them. It is a Jewish summer camp experience, or perhaps a youth-based trip to Israel. Those moments create community. It is the Maccabean Games and the Purim carnivals in which you and your families have participated. The third base, which is also essential to touch, is that of being part of your family. That is creating Jewish memories within your families. Your Jewish identity is forged by the practices and rituals you perform in your home. It's the gathering together on a Friday night to light candles before heading out to the football game, or making Havdalah on a Saturday evening before going out to the theater or a concert. Our families certainly are the ones in which we are born to, but also can be extended to those individuals whom we invite to be a part of our lives. The last base, or home plate, is that of personal Judaism, which obviously is unique to each of us. The idea of how each of us relates to Judaism is individualized. It is the spiritual side of ourselves where we wrestle with who we are and what we will stand for. It is the part of ourselves that gets angry with the social injustices of our world, or when we are introspective in how we relate to God. It's the moral and ethical decisions we make as we confront the challenges in our world, as well as deciding how Jewish law guides our actions and behaviors. I think each of us can gravitate to one of these 4 bases of Judaism, but like any kind of diet, we must strive to find that balance. We must, in essence, touch each base in order to formulate and solidify our Jewish identity. So why is confirmation an important part of the Shavuot services, which commemorate the receiving of the Torah at Mount Sinai? It is fittingly appropriate to honor our students on this day because of the important role they play in the study and transmission of Torah. Our sages ask, why are words of Torah compared to a tree? As a small log may set fire to a large log, so too do students sharpen the wits of their teacher. One of my favorite teachings from Pirkei Avot states that the one who is wise is the one who learns from everyone. And this is complemented by Rabbi Hanina's teaching, where he says, I have learned much from my teachers and even more from my friends. But from my students, I have learned more than from all of them. Sam, Naomi, I call you now my colleagues, and not to be taken facetiously, but I say it with all sincerity. I call you my colleagues in the sense that we can challenge and question one another in such a way that allows for an open and honest exchange of ideas as equals. I call you my colleagues because you demonstrated commitment to Jewish education when you stepped up to help with special programming this year. So as I conclude my words to you, I would like to now offer you these words written by Rabbi Lawrence Kushner that was inspired by words from the Talmud, a teacher's blessing. May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. And may you trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue and your vision be on a straight path before you. May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness, even as you ever yearn to hear the words of the holy ancient one of old. Mazal tov to you and to your families.
Thank you, Pam. It was beautiful, heartfelt. Now I have a few words of my own. Let's see how I do this. Stand here so I can kind of see you. Naomi and Sam, we have arrived together, the three of us together, and all of us together at the moment with both of you, this moment, after years of learning. We're here to see you make your personal commitment to your Jewishness and to the Jewish people. The confirmation ritual takes place on Shavuot, the festival when we rejoice in the reception of Torah at Mount Sinai. And this is not a coincidence. For tonight is Erev Shavuot. On Erev Shavuot tonight, we rejoice in the Torah that you offer us and that you will offer the world. Regarding Torah, Rabbi Ben Bag said, turn it over and turn it over again, for everything is in it. Reflect on it and grow old and gray with it, and do not turn from it, for nothing is better than it. Another reading from Pirkei Avot, a book we didn't get to this year, but one that can nourish you for your entire life. I hope if you have any curiosity about this, I hope you will explore this book. Tonight, Sam and Naomi, as each of you reach this moment of confirmation, look deeply at how much you have learned. All of that you've learned, this is your Torah. Torah means instruction. And we also use that word to mean literally the scrolls that are sitting in our ark. But each of you, both of you, carry your instruction, your Torah. Turn it and turn it again and again, and you will discover new truths in familiar words. The truth of your Torah will lead you to great joys, and it will comfort you in moments of great disappointment. You will share your Torah with those whom you befriend, those you teach, those you love, and perhaps one day with your future children. The Torah you have discovered will help others to discover their Torah. This is how our Jewish tradition is passed from one generation to the next. And this is how we repair our world. Thank you both for sharing your beautiful words tonight, of course, but also each time that we got together. They inspired me and they taught me, and I am so grateful for having had the chance to learn with you and from you. And now I would like to offer you both a blessing on the occasion of your confirmation. So we will step up to the ark. Thank you. Okay. Make sure you're looking at the ark. It's okay. You can turn away. I'll ask everyone, please to rise. Sam, we want to offer the words of the priestly benediction, the blessing that we use to recognize important, critical moments in our life. And guess what? This is one. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God turn toward you and grant you peace. Mazal tov, todah rabah for being our teacher, and b'hatzlacha, good luck on the road ahead. You may go back and with your family, and we all may be seated. I realize as I have you go back and sit with your family, go ahead, sit down. You're going to be back here in a second, but it's all right. You're now our youngest teacher, so that's no problem. And so now I would like to invite our president, Ellen Tom, who has some words on behalf of our community for our confirmants. And I'll mention tonight, while Ellen is making her way up, you may notice that we have these beautiful baskets. Those were done by our religious school students this morning. They assembled them together, and they are going to be a gift for the families in our Thoughtful Thursday program, to the students of the Head Start program that meets here. And it's not just that they're here because we wanted to show you they look nice. It's a very Shavuot thing to do. These baskets really are a way of symbolizing the fact that Shavuot's roots are as a harvest festival, as a festival of offering of our fruits. And actually there is some fruit in the baskets. And so it is a beautiful moment for our students to be able to share the bounty of our community with the families in Head Start, but also to remind us of the roots of Shavuot.
Thank you, Rabbi, and thank you to Pam. And I see Bruce. I know some of your teachers, and then I was reminded too, I forgot that I used to have both of you in class once upon a time as well. So if you'd like, I'll keep my mask on. If Sam and Naomi, if you'd like to come up here. Whenever you're comfortable in standing. All right. So Naomi and Sam, I am honored to be sharing this special day with you both. I shared similar words with both of you during your B'nai Mitzvahs about 3 years ago. I have watched each of you grow as young children, full of curiosity, intelligence, and maturity, into patient, empathetic, and engaged young adult members of our congregation. You have shown up and participated in religious school, youth group, mitzvah day, and worship. You both are to be commended for your sense of Jewish responsibility, tikkun olam, and leading by example. As we start to celebrate Shavuot, we are reminded about the importance of following the Torah and its teachings. The beginning of the Tanakh contains our Jewish law, our Torah. As we celebrate the beginning of your new journey, it is with great pleasure and on behalf of the Board of Trustees and your congregational family to present you each with your own Tanakh. I think you can see. And your certificate, of course. I hope you both can find your own interpretations and meanings within the Torah to help guide you into your adult life and to help those around you. Again, Mazel Tov to you both and to your families. Thank you.
Mazel tov. Thank you, Ellen. Everyone can be seated. You don't have to come back up. So in a moment, we will begin to conclude our service with the Leinu, which you'll find on page 586. If you want to turn ahead. But before we say that prayer, I would like to I'd just like to thank Ellen and Denny for being here to support our service tonight. Usher and Zoom. I want to thank Ellen in her role as president and representing our community in congratulating I want to thank Pam for all that she has done in our religious school this year and all she has done in teaching our children and our young adults for many, many years. Thank you very much. And are you going to take care of something like on the way? Are you putting something out? Yep. All right. Just checking. Okay. And so I want to thank them. I want to thank the families of Naomi and Sam. So the parents, Kaczynski and the parents, Gephardt, for supporting your children through the long road of their learning. And of course, this is just the beginning of a new adult phase of their learning. It's not an ending of anything. But I want to take the moment and recognize that it takes a family to teach a child in community. So thank you very much for your support of our learning and helping your students to be with us as learners. Also, I wanted to say a quick word of thanks to Canterbury School, who has donated some beautiful flowers tonight, so that we could have a beautiful place as Naomi and Sam become company. So thank you. And the last announcement: there's something very special and Shavuot kind of Yiddish, that you can pick up on your way out. I will tell you that it's packaged, so it's safe, and it is dairy, and it is yummy. And so you will have that. To take home with you. You can eat it in the car if you want, but you can't eat it in here because of the pandemic. But anyway, we wanted to make sure that you had something sweet to bring in Shavuot. And so now I invite you to rise as you are able for a native on page 586. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekeru le'otzeh breshit. Ashenu l'sanu kegoei haratzot, ve'lo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam telkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kekol hamonam. Va'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Livnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad U'shemo You may be seated, and a word of thanks also. I also wanted to thank Mr. Colgrove. Bruce, I should have thanked you earlier, but the role that you play in our students' learning and acquiring Hebrew and setting them up for success in their Jewish lives. So thank you very much for that. It's nice, I imagine, Bruce, to have evenings like this where we get to see the payoff, right? So thank you for everything that you do. And with that, our service is concluded. Chag Sameach, enjoy your dairy. Thank you for coming out, and Mazel Tov to Sam.